Okay. Oh, yeah, sure. Whatever you think.
So.
You are the orchid whisperer.
Thank you. I'm so excited. My mother has.
Yeah.
And I'm the one that's pulling it together.
Yeah.
My vision kind of will.
Yeah.
And you're doing very well.
Okay, awesome. It's going to be great. But Sean, how is Caroline doing?
I'm sorry.
How is Caroline doing?
I don't know. Well, she doesn't start until Wednesday.
Oh, okay. So she's just enjoying her time.
Yes, she's.
I'm off right now.
Well, that will give her time to fix that sunflower puzzle. Yeah, we're going to have to let her know. Fix the puzzle.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, thanks for changing the time on the clock.
Yes, ma'am. I think we need a battery.
Ah,
I saved your number.
good morning.
You're giving me a hard time.
Good morning.
Of course.
All right, everyone, I'm going to call the docket. If you're here, let me know you're here. In custody, we have Pedro Monores, Roland Diaz, Juan de Hoyos Garcia, Gabriel Gobert, Moses Ross. In custody, we have Ginger Ferguson, Mario Pineda. In custody, we have Orlando Andino, Richard Whitney, Leslie Cox. Leslie Cox.
See her, but we'll get her here.
Thank you. Janelle Garza. Janelle Garza. Miguel Maldonado. Miguel Maldonado. Traffic wasn't bad this day, but you know, it's hard for me to judge since I'm walking to court. Derek Reyes. Derek Reyes.
I don't know if they're both held up at the door, but both of them have
Okay.
typically been here, so.
All right. Gilbert Perryman.
There you go.
Gloria Garcia. Zachary Garcia. Christopher Esquivel. Jarius Logan. Thank you. In custody, we have Donnie Alvarez, Roland Diaz, Kay Johnson. That's you as well, Mr. Martinez. Lewis?
Judge, I don't know if we got Miss John, that's for, that's on an occupational license. I don't
Yes.
know that we got Miss Johnson noticed on that, so. I
Okay.
think that's where we fall on that.
All right, sure, no problem. All right, anyone present whose name was not called? All right, what is your name? Monica,
wait.
do you have a case number or SID number?
No, I don't.
All right, do you know who your attorney is?
Yes, just about Pedro.
Have you had contact with him?
Yes, dear.
All right, just give us a moment. We'll check on your case. Anyone else? All right, everyone, these are the rules of the court. Criminal trial division files are to my left, family violence files to my right. Make sure that you just grab a file, place it on their desk. There's been an outbreak of flu, COVID, leprosy, and we don't want that to happen in this court. So far, we haven't had an outbreak in this court, but other courts have. Court reporter, do not touch her things. Do not put your items on her desk. If you damage anything, you will have bought it and it's cost over $10,000. To the back, Vashon, could you raise your hand? That is the probation officer. Two things. One, do not put any of your items on her desk. That's at her office. Two, if you have someone on probation, yes, you all should confer with her before you approach the court. Do not approach the court if you have not conferred with the state and conferred with your client. If your client wishes to communicate with the court in a language other than English, yes, whether you speak their language or not, we'll need an interpreter called down. So ask the court reporter for that. If you have a client who's in custody, the deputy will bring them out. Do not leave once your client has been brought out, because for security reasons, the deputies are only allowed or can only bring out so many people. And if you call for the interpreter, or if you call to have your client brought out and you leave, you're being selfish to your colleagues. The door back there, that is where the inmates come from. Do not block the deputy's line of sight, because if you do and something happens, oh, well, something may end up happening to you. So do not get in their space. I think today is going to be a quick day. And because I put that out in the universe, it's probably not going to be a quick day. But much like Ghostbusters with the Marshmallow Man, it was in my mind, so it's out there. So everyone put some patience in your pocket, confer with kindness in your heart, and put a smile on your face. It's Monday, a day of new beginnings. And guess what? We're closer to Friday than we were yesterday. So everyone, please confer.
We're off this Friday.
Oh, yeah, we are off Friday, but hey, we're still closer to being off.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Mr. Locust, Jarvis Logan. The Locust last. He was interviewed on October 31st for potential acceptance in the mental health court. And we're just waiting to hear from him.
Oh, let me just tell you, I just got an email from mental health court. They are full.
Yeah, he was told he's on a wait list.
Yes. So do you know where you are on the wait list?
No, they didn't say.
Okay, let's just find out where we are. Oh, I need the file. Yes. All right. So are you taking all of your medications and everything?
They said they're gonna scribe it to me when I get there.
I'm sorry, what?
They're gonna scribe it to me when I get there.
When you get into mental health court? Ah. So I'm going to need your help on this. Because there's a wait list, he's going to be waiting to get things prescribed to him. So if you can talk with mental health court and if you can see if they can do something in the meantime, do like a stopgap. And what I'll do is I'll give you your reset.
I'll check with Michelle today, Judge, and find out.
Okay.
If they're gonna have him connected with services prior to entry.
All right. So did she go get the file or do they not have the file? Oh, okay. Wait. And so what I'll do, I'm going to give you probably a reset in December. And I'll put us, are you employed?
Yes.
All right. What are your work schedule? What are your work days?
It's every day basically, but I just took off today.
Okay.
He works for a moving company.
All right. So is December 18th okay for you?
That's
I
fine.
imagine people move a lot during the holidays.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll let them know.
All right. Because I can give you December 18th or I can do it the week of December 11th.
Either way it goes.
All right.
I just let them know. They'll be-
18th probably better for me, Judge.
Okay. And are you able, could I get a reset form? And are you able to Zoom?
I can try off my phone.
If you want to work with him on that, that way he won't have to take off because it'll be for us to get an update on the mental health issue. Obviously. And how do you pronounce your first name?
Jairus.
Jairus. Okay. So if you're able to appear by Zoom, that's fine. If you cannot appear by Zoom, just let the court know.
Okay.
And counsel, I do believe this is the case where squeaky wheel probably will get small. So,
Usually works, Your Honor.
and then after that, you are excused.
Thank
Okay. All right, you're welcome.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thanks, Judge.
Okay. So do we not have a file? Yeah, I've been waiting for the file. Oh, that's okay. Thank you.
You just need to be ready. Okay, so we're seeing each other. Okay. I appreciate you having shown me. Thank you. Judge, she said the mental health warning is about, they're gonna start accepting new vehicles
Mhm.
at the beginning of the year.
Okay,
But you did say that Mr. Logan was.
okay. All right, thank you.
Oh, nice. Hey, I got a free Davis.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm sorry, what? I don't know. I think so. Oh, yes, I did. I did. It's gonna be a beautiful day.
Number 6.
I do. I do. Just 1 second. I went to a different screen. 1147965.
Hi, this is.
He's on 1.5. Oh, okay.
I have the.
That's not very good.
My knees don't bend like they used to. I'm getting old.
Yeah.
Judges are being mean to me.
They are?
No, that is.
Are they being mean though?
Or am I being unreasonable by asking for something? Yes.
Well, it depends on what you're asking for.
He's gonna get us lunch. I'm trying to get us some lunch.
Well, are we negotiating? It's gonna start more like breakfast tacos. Oh my God.
Hey, Sancho, do you have that, like, Aisha Calderon? Yes. Is she almost done? Okay, yeah, because we have to meet her at the 187, so I think. You'll take her to 1.5. The Gio, you want to tell the Gio? Okay. You're the best, Sancho. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Alrighty, thank you so much. So she is down. Oh, what am I for that? Just kidding.
I'm really thinking about that. I'm being unreasonably difficult. I need your help. May I approach?
So what are your thoughts on the jury trial? What did you learn? Yeah. Mhm. Ah. Mhm.
I figured.
You should ask, where is Lewis? Yeah, you should talk to Lewis and ask him
What's going on?
maybe what his thought process
Same old
was
stuff.
and yes, as far as letting his client, well, not letting, because the client has the right to testify or not on his own. But usually a defense attorney will give their input in that. So, yeah. Because usually that is always hard. Because sometimes if you have a client who has criminal history, when they testify, 9 times out of 10, that criminal history is coming in. And so you're trying to think, even though a jury is not supposed to hold somebody's past against them as far as whether they're guilty or not guilty, sometimes they do. For example, if you have a client who's been to prison for aggravated robbery, sometimes jurors could think, well, why is this person even out of prison or something? And maybe your person is starting behind the 8 ball just because of their criminal history. But my rule of thumb usually on sex cases involving children, regardless of the presumption of innocence, usually jurors want to hear your client get on the witness stand and tell them, hey, I didn't do this. Unless you have a case that is so in your favor where you're like, you don't need to testify. You can if you want to, but they haven't proved anything. But that's always dicey. Usually when it's involving young children, even though your client's pled not guilty, a jury still wants that person to look him in the eye and say, I didn't do this. So Mhm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The sex cases are hard, and because there's so many television shows now and so many cases where people were found guilty and then DNA testing, or they have the Innocence Project and they find, oh, they're actually innocent, or there's no way a jury could have found them guilty. When I first started practicing, if you had somebody who was accused of a child sex case, I don't care what they say about presumption of innocence, the juror still wanted you to prove that your client didn't do it. And so you're always behind the 8 ball. Now, because jurors are more
You're not.
aware of legal cases and more aware of really the state has the burden and the defense doesn't have the burden to do anything, they are more apt to analyze and listen to the state's witness and make a decision on that. And then, of course, if your client wants to testify, then they'll look at that as well. But before, if you had somebody who was charged with continuous sexual abuse of a child, whether there was DNA or not, you were behind the 8 ball. But that's changed a lot. And I think a lot of it is because of the legal documentaries and the legal shows that have come out.
It's our house next. My house next.
And let me see, whenever I come into work, even though I sign all of the documents for me, whenever I come in, there's always something else to sign. People think being a judge is just what you see here, but there's a lot of the background administrative things that you have to do. And this is one of them. And then we rotate on who is presiding judge. So when you're presiding judge, all of the orders from other courts, if those judges are out, they will come to you. If there's a dismissal, it will come to you. Officers coming in to get search warrants, all of that comes to you. And so that's why you saw a lot of officers coming in here, because they had search warrants or arrest warrants, and you have to review those. And then after you review it, swear them in and then sign it. So it's a lot. And then sometimes people want you to do bonds. The good things about the bond now is that we have another court, Judge Nahara. So he's appointed by the district court judges, and you can send bond things to him. Because if I'm in the middle of doing a trial, breaking in the middle to bond hearing, is it simple? Yes. But that takes time away from the jury trial. That takes time away from going over pleas and scheduling. So it's easier to send it to him. And we send it to him anyway, because we have to justify that position. You can't have him and say, oh, we have nothing for you to do, you know? Mhm. Okay. Getting up on the custody too. Mhm. Well, I will tell you, a lot of those cases you will get on the child sex cases. I would say probably 60% of those cases, the mother of the child comes and sides with the defendant. That's what you get a lot of.
I'll be running in just a minute on Mr. Madden license. And I Probably kind of want, I hope Sarah will call and said she's expecting me back down there in 186 for trial. So I was hoping to go back. So let me, George is looking at the.
On Mondays, we have trial cases, and then people will come back on Tuesday. And on Tuesday, that's when we actually do jury selection. So this is the last time for people to talk, maybe make sure that everybody has their discovery the way they're supposed to have it. So that's what it is. Mhm. And then we have people in the back. And so the inmates, they're brought over in, of course, their uniforms that they give them at the jail. But when it's their time for jury trial, they'll be brought over in civilian clothing, and they'll be brought over in whatever clothing they were arrested in. That's why if you're a defense attorney, you need to always watch videos. There was one incident and there was case law on it. A defendant was brought over. He was charged with robbery or something. And he sat during the jury trial with the clothes on that he's alleged to have committed the robbery in. And so it's always important that you figure out what your client is wearing and what clothing they have at the jail. And you usually should do that. Don't do it months in advance, because if you do the clothing exchange months in advance, that clothing's going to get lost, or somebody's going to take it, or some other defendant's going to end up with it. Then you're going to have to try to do it again. With the clothing exchange, sometimes your client will have family who will say, don't worry about it. We have the clothing, and you'll know which family members are dependable to do that. Because sometimes you'll have people who say, oh, we're going to do the clothing exchange, and they don't. And then you're scrambling to get clothes for your client. And when you're a defense attorney and you're appointed and you get clothes for your client, the court will approve you to spend your money to get clothes for your client, but they have a set fee. Me, I would go by their set fee, and the rest of it would end up coming out of my pocket, because I would either go to JCPenney, and I tried going to Walmart once. Walmart prices were just as high as JCPenney, because when you think about it, you got to get them pants, you got to get them a top, you got to get them a tie. They don't allow belts anymore, but when I first started practicing, you would have to get them a belt, you'd have to get them socks, you have to get them shoes, because you don't want them coming over in those flip-flops, because people will notice their feet, right? So you have to do all of that. And then the other thing is, I would always try to make sure my client was able to get a haircut. They do have where you can get a haircut at the jail, but it takes a lot of wrangling to do that. And so I would do that and make sure they were dressed appropriately for court. Because last thing, you don't want your client appearing in a ratty t-shirt, because regardless of what people say, sometimes people hold it against you the way you're dressed. And I would always tell my clients, look, we want the jurors to listen to your story if you're going to testify. So you got to give them a book that they're interested in reading. If the cover doesn't look good, they're not going to read it. And so I've had young clients before too. And I remember I had this young client and I'm like, you need to be dressed appropriately for court. He's like, I'm not trying to impress anybody. I said, you're looking at life in prison. You better try to impress people. Your friends and your family members are not going to be on the jury. And people always talk about jury of your peers. Honestly, you are not normally going to get people from your neighborhood on the jury. If you're 18 and you're in felony court, you're not going to get 18-year-olds on the jury, because usually maybe they're in college or maybe they're in school.
So I feel kind of like.
That's the excuse for them not to be on the jury. So you're not gonna have that. Derek Reyes. Who's the attorney for Derek Reyes? Hello, Mr. Reyes, come up. All right, Mr. Reyes, why were you late to this morning?
I got stuck on a detour on the way out from 35.
All right, make sure you're not late again, okay? All right, so today is final discovery day.
And Judge, I had a discovery order that I brought over from the 379th
Mhm.
in August, and we can't find it now, so I'm having to get that redone.
Okay, all right. So other than this, do you have all the discovery?
I believe so, Judge. We've gotten surveillance videos, and then we just finally got an offer today, so.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Derek Reyes, give me a December date, our last week for the year, please.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you want to push it to December 18th? Yeah. You okay with December 18th? All right. All right, so we're gonna put you down for December 18th. And that will be your plea deadline date.
Have a seat. We'll find the other. Okay. Thank you, Judge.
And once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yes.
You're welcome.
I did.
All right, Alex Espinoza?
Yeah, Patricia,
Yes. Is this on the docket today?
this is not, Your Honor.
Okay.
We're substituting it and we just wanted to get that signed. So
All right, Norma, what's the date on this?
I have no idea, Judge. I do not have the case number.
All right, it's 2003. 9122.
November 27th.
All righty. We will see you back on November 27th.
thank you, Judge.
You're
It's good to
welcome.
see you.
All right, you too.
Thank you, Norma.
What? It's 70. Yeah.
You're welcome. Leslie Cox. Janelle Garza.
Leslie Cox.
Oh, Ms. Cox. Oh, no, are you all ready?
No, not yet, Judge.
Oh, just have a seat. I'm just calling to see who has come in. Miguel Maldonado.
Mr. Lewis.
Miguel Maldonado. I'm sorry, are you Miguel? All right, yes, you need to be on the front row.
Oh,
And Ms. Wade, just give us a moment. We'll be right with you.
You let us know when you're ready. We'll put the file.
Yes. Sure. Okay, thank you.
Yes, I do.
Can we ask the principal how?
Yes, hi, Judge. Richard Whitney. Yes.
Richard Whitney. You need to come forward.
It's just a simple question.
Yes.
He has credit in Medina County from May to present. State's willing to give him that time. I wanted to make sure that you would be able to give him that time as well.
Yes.
As before we do the deal.
Yes.
That's all.
Okay. All right. You can have a seat.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. They'll be back. Hello. How's it going?
I'm doing well. How
Are you in here with us?
I'm not, but I was hoping, the judge in my court is not here today and I need a dismissal signed, rejection. Would you be willing to?
Sure.
Thank you, Judge.
There you
I
are.
appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Have a good one.
Too.
All right, Monica Wade, if you'll come forward. All right, Miss Ferguson, if you'll check her, she is not on the docket today. If you'll check to see, she doesn't have her case number or anything.
What's your neighbor?
3380. Wade, W-A-D. Yes.
I'm on the docket to the 27th. November 20th.
Yeah, I spoke to my attorney on Friday and I spoke to him this morning and I informed him that I had received a card in the mail. It said the 27th, but he said for me to still appear today on the 6th. So
What is she charged with?
Felony
today.
possession of firearms.
I don't know if they're working it out today, but
He didn't tell me anything, but
so,
give me 1 second. She starts with the profession. They're both set for the 27th. You can go.
yes,
thank you.
you're welcome. Do you need a reset form so you know what day to be here?
No, ma'am, I received cards in the mail that stated the date and I informed my attorney that said the 27th, but he said to come today, so.
All right, you may want to call them.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
We've got everything. Madam Morris. Madam Morris.
Yes.
Madam Morris is set on Friday.
No, he's on a wait list.
He
Yes.
kind of wants to withdraw his application. That's what we. Okay.
Bashan, on this one, we'll need to have a hearing, so if they can get in tomorrow or do it by Zoom, we can. Unless probation thinks that he should not be allowed to go, because it says that he's gone before. The Mexico thing is out of the question, but the California thing may be allowed. So, yes, and if he wants to appear by Zoom, he can.
Oh, the guy in the chair.
No, no, I can. Very. Okay. I think that's. State holidays at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they should. I don't know what I'm going to be like. I did two of them. That was the guy. I created it.
Are y'all ready on Pedro Monores? Sure. Hello.
Apologize for being late, Your Honor. My wife's a little bit slow getting going this morning.
Okay, no problem.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
I don't understand. That's all right.
Oh, you can see, I couldn't understand this. That's, I don't gotta keep that. That's great. You tore it up 100 here, man. Oh, I was strong. I stopped using it.
Miguel Maldonado.
Yeah. So we don't have to choose, just have to break policy.
Miguel Maldonado. Does he have a warrant?
I'm not sure.
No, Judge, it was a bond forfeiture. He went to County Court 2, where he also has a case. He went there first. He didn't realize that he had two separate different courtrooms. I went downstairs, got him, brought him up here and explained to him, come here first, go down, check in with them, and then come back up.
All right, did you, Deputy Lord, did you all check?
No, just. That's right.
All right. No warrant? Was one ever issued? Was one ever issued in May?
There was one here, issue judge, not on this case. Not on the one on 2432.
All right, because I have on May 15th, 2023, on the docket sheet, that he was a no-show at 10:17 a.m. and a judge's warrant was to be issued.
So first setting.
No, first setting was May 1st. That was when an offer was tendered. And then the plea deadline date was May 15th. You're Miguel Maldonado?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
It shows that he made bond on 8/30/2023.
Ah, okay.
That's when I hired you, remember?
Must be-
That's when I fired my counsel and I hired him.
That's
All
makes
right.
sense, Judge.
Well,
For my
I
first
guess
setting,
they're saying that you made bond. When did you say?
August 30th.
Oh, so you made bond after the warrant was issued. Okay. I just wanted to make sure when I say a judge's warrant that it be issued. All right. So where are we on this case?
Judge, we were just informed a little less than 5 minutes ago, there is a sealed family violence case that is pending. I spoke to family violence. They have not yet reached out to the victim. But our hope is that we can wrap both of the cases together, as well as the pending misdemeanor.
All right. Family violence. When are you going to have this case?
I'm looking into it, Judge, hopefully as soon as we can.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this case, put this at the end of November. All right, so we're going to come back on November 30th. And state,
I do apologize, Judge. I'm gonna be in Hayes County that day. And I hate having to try to come back and
are
forth.
you here on the 27th,
Houston,
28th?
yep.
All right, Nora, put this on November 28th. All right, and November 28th will be your plea deadline date. State, family violence, you'll need to confer off docket with him to get him an offer.
Yes, Judge.
All right, is there anything else?
No, Judge.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused. And why were you late?
Oh, it's because I was downstairs in misdemeanor court.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
all right. Your attorney is correct. Make sure you come up here first. This is
I
felony
didn't know,
court.
ma'am, because I got a message to go to that court, ma'am.
Okay,
My system automatically sends the messages, but it sends two, and it didn't look different to him. He just thought it was double.
all right. All right, thank you.
Yeah. That's a big one. Is it? Okay. They got me going.
You're welcome.
Yes.
I'm sorry, can I have that file back? Just one moment. I needed to add something. It's there. Thank you. Are you all ready?
Oh, yes, Your Honor. May we ask the clerk?
All right, who's here on Pedro Monores?
Come on up, Pedro. Matamoros.
Yes.
Judge, just kind of off the record, I'll start out by telling you that there's been a slight change in our applications
Yes.
that we asked for, that you reset it to finish up the application process for probation, okay?
What?
I think he's gonna want to withdraw that
Ah,
and ask for you to decide between 2 and 5, I believe is what.
all right. If you all want to do a plea page, redo that.
Okay.
Have you already done that?
No, ma'am, I just have the old one, so this is new information since this morning, Judge. So initially it was gonna be 5 silent, now he's saying, they just wanted, he just wants to do offer.
Okay, so if you all want to write what your to-do offer is,
Just change it to a cap.
all right, and you all will need to sign off on it.
Sure. I mean, so he's making this anywhere between 2 and 5, okay? So would you initial like that, please? So we agree with that. Thank you. Okay.
Oh, Judge, do we need to sign the bottom?
There.
Yes.
This is his, I guess. Oh, yes. This is a good idea.
And so his plea bargain agreement was really originally for him to apply
Yes.
for probation or deferred adjudication. Now he just wants to do time. And so I'll make a decision because they're agreeing to capify, which means I can sentence him anywhere from 5 to 2 years. Well, from 2 to 5 years in the prison.
Okay, let me put a date on here.
Thank you. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 6552W, State of Texas versus Pedro Monores. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Jim Olters door for Pedro Monores.
And are you Mr. Montemores? All right, you entered a plea to the offense of robbery on July 31st. It was scheduled for a PSI and TAP evaluation. And then there was a DDRF evaluation that we were waiting the results on. According to your original plea bargain agreement, you applied for deferred adjudication. The state was requesting that your punishment be assessed at 5 years in the prison, and they were silent on your application. I've just been informed by both parties that you wish to withdraw your application for deferred adjudication. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, make sure you keep your voice up. You can lower your hand. If you'll state your name for the record, please.
Pedro Monores.
All right, Mr. Montemores, you understand that your original plea bargain agreement was for the state to remain silent on your application?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're asking that your application for deferred adjudication or probation be withdrawn?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you discussed the withdrawing of that application with your attorney?
Yes.
And there's a new offer that has been tendered to the court. Is that correct, state and defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
And state, would you like to offer into evidence the new plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, state offers, state's exhibit 1, or the Sorry, it's two. Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Any objection?
No objections.
All right. All right, Mr. Montemores, I'm going to show you what's the entitled the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the new plea bargain agreement, which the court does not have to follow, you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
The court can go with your original agreement. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
But according to this new agreement, you're asking that your punishment be assessed at a cap of 5 years, and the state will remain silent. All other conditions are to remain. Is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense,
Yes, Your Honor.
state.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, have both party, any questions? I'm sorry, for Mr. Montemores?
Yes, Your Honor, may I?
Yes.
Pedro, you've heard everything here today, and we've talked before we came up, and you've expressed to me that I guess in your words, you just want to get this over with as well as you can. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you and I worked with the state a little bit about kind of pulling all that back to now it's a cap of 5. You understand that means a judge can go anywhere from 2 to 5. And I explained there's no promises made by me or by Mr. Wilkins over here about what the judge will do. I was going to tell her a couple of things that I know about her, about you, excuse me, tell her some things that I've found out about you that I think are in your favor, but I'm going to give you a chance briefly. Is there, what's your family situation like? Are you raising children? Give the judge a little bit of background so she can know a little bit about what to do.
I'm not married. I have children, yes, but I rarely get to see them.
Okay. When you were working, what kind of work do you do?
I was doing residential and commercial plumbing.
Plumbing?
Yeah.
When you were arrested, around the time you were arrested, and it's been a while now, were you engaged in that working kind of on a steady basis?
Not at that moment.
Okay. Do you have a chance when you're released from jail? It sounds like a skilled job. Is it? Is
Yes.
plumbing something that requires training?
Yes.
How long had you been doing the plumbing before you?
Yeah, I was doing it under the table. I was working for my friend named Miguel. I've been doing it for like a good 2-3 years on and off.
Okay. So did that involve installing things or were you just digging a hole? Or? Okay. It's pretty hard work.
Yeah.
Correct. But you were learning about.
Yeah, at the same time I was learning. Yeah.
All right, you all got to make sure that it's one at a time. And I'm sorry, you're going to have to speak up. The court reporter won't be able to hear you.
You were, the judge just said, when I talk, you stop, and I'll do the same thing. So you, by doing the digging to get the work going, you also stayed around, I assume, and observed someone that was a master plumber, right? Doing the work, right?
Yes.
And you were learning from that, I assume, correct?
Yes, sir.
So eventually you would be able to move up the ladder and do the kinds of things that you'd already observed him doing.
Yes, sir.
Did you assist him in those other jobs as well as digging?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I have, Your Honor.
All right, any questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, so why did you commit this crime?
I really don't have an answer for that.
So when's the last time you were treated for your mental health issues?
I believe it was in 2016, I think.
So it appears from looking at your history, none of it is violent offenses, but you have issues. Your issue is your mental health evaluation, which is bipolar and schizophrenia. And then we have you doing a lot of drugs, meth, Xanax, and heroin. So when's the last time you used heroin before you were taken into custody?
It was the day before I was locked up. I got locked up, yeah.
Okay.
When I got locked up, I was on Xanax.
Okay. And then I'm reading the report that your mother doesn't want you in the home, so you have no place to stay. So basically what you're asking me to do is, I'm assuming you're going to ask me to send you to prison for the minimum, which would be 2 years. And then because you want to get everything over with. And then you're going to come out, you're still going to have your mental health issues that you're not being treated for. You're still going to be homeless because you're not going to have employment when you get out of prison. And we're going to be right back where we are now, which is you committing a crime and you come in before another judge, only this time you're going to be a repeater. So here's what I can do. You can either do 5 years in prison. That's what I would give you. Or either I will give you deferred adjudication. On deferred adjudication, we'll get you some help for your mental health issues and for your drug issues. But what I can tell you is, one, you're not a gang member, according to the report that I've received. What I can tell you is when you leave the prison, if you decide to go through the easy route, which is go to prison and do your time, maybe they'll let you out in 2 years, who knows? But when you get out, you're going to think you have your life together. But prison normally is not a place where people get their life together. You're still going to have mental health issues. You're still going to have no place to stay. And the last time you use may be the last time you use, in which case your mom may end up reading about somebody on the news or seeing somebody on the news and having to go identify your body. So you have a choice. If you want prison, I will send you to prison for 5 years. If you want deferred adjudication, I will give you deferred adjudication. The state is silent. But Deputy Laura always says probation in this court is not easy. So which would you prefer, prison or probation?
Will I get help in probation? Like, they're gonna help me with like.
You'll probably be going to SafeP or inpatient treatment to begin with, because there's a waiting list in felony drug court, but I will refer you to felony drug court because they have a dual diagnosis that can help you with your mental health issues and also help you with housing and employment. Or you can do prison.
I'll take the probation.
All right. So how old are your children?
My oldest is 12, my two youngest are 7, and one of them passed away, so.
All right. So hopefully you can get your life together where you can be in their life. But right now you got to work on you. You understand? All right. So I'm going to sentence you to 6 years deferred adjudication. This is the run concurrent with 710670. Take in consideration the following: 2023 CR 3373, 710671. There's to be no contact with the following: Tiffany with an I, Aries, Ayres, Wayne McClintock, Eskiel. I know I'm mispronouncing that. That's Esequiel, Rivas. The Best Western at 6855 Northwest Loop 410, 78238. There's a $500 fine that will be probated. I'm going to do a referral to felony drug court. And we're going to do SafeP. And he's to remain in custody. Going to do 250 hours of community service restitution. Going to order parenting classes. If he successfully completes parenting classes, then 100 hours will be waived. How far did you go in school?
I just made it to 9th.
All right. Why did you drop out at 9th?
I had issues with somebody in the same
I'm sorry, what?
Had issues with somebody in the same school.
What did he say?
Inside the school, he had issues with someone inside
Okay.
the school.
All right. The remaining 150 hours will be waived if he obtains his GED or goes to some type of trade school and completes it. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. The UA hotline, 90 sober meetings in 90 days upon release. Field visits, 1 time per month until further notice. Proof of employment within 45 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. So if you start doing well and your children want to have contact with you, it'll have to start off with supervised contact. You understand?
Yes.
Okay,
Can I ask you something?
sure.
Well, why does it have to be supervised if nothing, it had nothing to do with my children?
I'm sorry, what?
If the case had nothing to do with my children, why does it have to be supervised?
All right, the best way I
I'm
could,
just asking.
no, and I appreciate that. Let me give you an example. Do you love your children
Yeah, I do.
and you would do anything for them
Yes,
and you want them protected?
yes.
All right. So let's say that you need a babysitter for your children. Okay.
Mhm.
And somebody recommends me to you to babysit your children. And you say, great, her credentials are great. My friends say she's a great babysitter, but you say, it's my children. I still want to test her out. So you have me come to your house to babysit your children. First day, everything goes well. Second day, you say, you know what? I'm going to set up cameras to make sure everything's going well. And I'm going to go to the grocery store. You go to the grocery store, you watch what's happening on your house on camera. I'm great, right?
Mhm.
And then your children love me. So you say, your probationary period is over. I want to hire you as a babysitter. And your children are so ecstatic because I'm the Black Mary Poppins. Everybody loves me. So as I'm leaving to walk out the door, I'm happy. I'm like, let me just tell you something that you don't know about me. And I say, I'm bipolar and schizophrenic. I'm not on my medications. And before I came here to babysit your children, I used heroin and Xanax. Do you still hire me? Will you let me around your children without being supervised?
I understand.
That's why. All right, probation, is there anything else he needs?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Montemores, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, you can go off the record. So in this court, to be successful on probation, communication is key. Talk to your probation officer. If you feel there is something that they're not addressing, you can always come back to the court and we'll address it here. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
From here on out, everything you do, you need to ask yourself a question. Is this something that could potentially result in me going to prison for 20 years? If the answer is no, don't do it. If it's maybe, don't do it. And in this court, I take reporting very seriously. So you need to always report to your probation officer. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Off the record,
Yes.
a British bank is run with precision, a British home requires nothing less. So a nanny that we need to mold the breed is a nanny that can give commands.
Yes. I like that, James. Are we ready on Gilbert Perryman?
So Your Honor, if it's of any help, I've
Okay.
been emailing with Craig. He had emailed me last week that he may not be able to make it every day.
Okay,
But I communicated an offer to him and he has been really
Okay.
communicative with me. And
all right. All right, so is Gilbert Perryman on bond or is he in custody?
He's on bond.
Mr. Perryman, if you'll come forward, please. All right, Mr. Perryman, your attorney is asking that your case be recalled for tomorrow. So they'll give you a reset form and we'll see you here tomorrow, okay?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Zach.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I see the file on Kate Johnson, please? Thank you. All right.
We just.
Yes, I do.
And Norma on Johnson, he's going to give you a different reset date for that because he didn't get in touch with his client. And that's for the occupational license. Mario Pineda. All righty. So what's happening with this case?
Judge, so we've been reaching out to the complainants. There is a misdemeanor case that's also accompanying this case. We have had difficulty reaching out to that complainant. We expect in the next couple days that should be clearing up. We were just gonna ask the misdemeanor case is set next week, and that may be something that we just tie this case into a resolution into that case. That's something that we wanted to talk to all of the complainants involved to kind of get their go ahead.
All right. So this is going to be recalled tomorrow.
Understood, Judge.
All right. So this will be called tomorrow for jury trial. Ms. Ferguson, if you can give them a reset form for tomorrow. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
So on the last case with Montemores, his offense wasn't a violent offense. And sometimes you have to weigh certain things. For example, I could have sent him to prison for 5 years. Depending on the parole board, he'd probably be out in 2, maybe less, depending on how the prison is running. And then we'd still be right back here with the same problem. And he'd probably pick up another offense. So this way he's on deferred adjudication. If he's not successful, then he could potentially looking at 20 years in prison. But I don't like passing on problems to other people because it just compounds things. And the last thing I would want is for him to be on heroin, not be on his mental health medications, and then picks up a violent offense. So we'll see how it goes. Leslie Cox.
Hello again, Judge.
Hello. All right, Ms. Cox, why were you late?
Because I do have an outstanding ticket I have to take care of after this.
I'm sorry, what?
An outstanding ticket I have to take care of after this.
She got a ticket on the way here, Judge.
Well, it was the ticket I got previously from parking last month. And I paid the meter, but it wasn't spitting out a ticket, and I found out it was because I owe money.
So I don't understand how that transferred to being late here unless you were going to municipal court. Like, so why were you late today?
Because I couldn't get a ticket. at the parking place.
Ah, okay.
So
So now I understand. All right, you can't be late for court, you understand?
that's my idea.
All right, so where are we on this case?
We're getting copies of the blood discovery right now. They've got the disc. It's being copied from me, so that should be available by the end of the day. That should complete discovery. And then we'll just need a plea deadline date.
All right, so have you been given an offer?
I have an offer, Judge.
Okay.
I do need to review the blood discovery before we decide what to do with that offer.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you put this in December? And if we'll just put this on December 18th?
With Mr. Reyes, yes.
Yes. All right, that will be your plea deadline date. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
See, sign on that.
And number, Jarius Logan is also set for December 18th. So, yes, I don't like passing problems off to other people or passing problems off to society. And then the question would be, well, why wasn't this taken care of beforehand? I would represent clients who had mental health issues, drug issues, and by the time I was on their case, they had already been in and out of the prison. And then next thing you know, they're habitual. And I'm fighting an uphill battle saying, look, none of these previous issues were addressed, the schizophrenia. And I would get a lot of clients who had mental health issues. And sometimes when you see people who are addicted to drugs, usually it's masking mental health issues. And I would say in my experience, it's about 60% of the time. And sometimes people will take illegal drugs to help with the mental health issues. And then once they're clean and sober, because you can't really diagnose them if they're not sober. But once they're clean and sober, then you realize there's underlying mental health issues that have never been addressed, underlying trauma issues that have never been addressed. And if you don't address it, you're just compounding the issues and the problems. So normally, if someone does not have a violent past, or if what they're before me is a violent offense, we'll see what is available for them for treatment.
Sure.
And that's what happens. Excuse me, is he raising his hand for his attorney? What do you want to say? I'm sorry, what? What is your name? I'm sorry, what? Oh, they will, they'll know that you're here. We'll let them know you're here. Just make sure it's charged. All right, where's the interpreter? Yes.
It says it on the phone.
He's not present today.
Was something urgent? Okay, yes.
Just wanted to approach, I'm not sure exactly what type of setting we're on.
Oh, the state is to make an offer.
That's right. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm gonna talk to Hank. I came in today because I have another matter at 1:30 here in San Antonio, so I thought better
Sure.
just get a head start on it instead of
Okay.
coming back on Thursday.
Okay.
So I'll talk to him. He said to just wait around, but I just wanted to know what setting we were on. That way I can go to.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, Manager,
Yes.
this is an off-docket matter. I filed a motion to set bond on a deferred case.
Mhm.
And I have spoke to Daniel and subject to your approval, we have an agreement.
Oh, if you'll take it to Judge Nahara, he'll do it.
Okay,
Yes,
that's in the basement, correct?
yes.
Thank you.
Aisha Calderon. One night.
Hello again, Judge. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. And you're on that side.
Trying to be here.
Oh, that's okay. Who's the prosecutor on Calderon? All right, did y'all post some further probation?
I don't know.
Okay,
I'm sorry, you said we converted probation, yes.
all right. Court is calling 2022 CR 6748 and 2022 CR 6827, State of Texas versus Aisha Calderon. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
defense?
Andrew Fraley.
And are you Aisha Calderon?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the documents entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision and First Amendment Motion to Revoke Community Supervision in each cause number with your attorney, and did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Aisha Calderon who was placed on community supervision in 2022 CR 6748 for the offense of unauthorized use of a vehicle on September 22nd, 2022 for a term of 5 years?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you the same Aisha Calderon who was placed on community supervision in cause number 2022 CR 6827 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 less than 1 gram on September 22nd, 2022 for a term of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State, are you proceeding on the same allegations in each motion?
Yes, we are, Your Honor.
Any objection to the state reading the allegation and the defendant's answer being for both motions, defense?
Any objection? No, Your Honor.
Right, state?
Yes, Your Honor. Violated condition number 44 on or about the 26th day of October 2023 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant Aisha Calderon did then and there failed to comply with the rules and regulations of Esperanza Court, and the defendant refused to comply with the treatment recommendations of the court in violation of condition number 44.
All right, just off the record for a moment. I'm looking, I don't see a violation of 44 on the motions that I had. Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right, how do you plead to the violations in each motion? True or not true?
True.
Your Honor, we'll waive the remaining violated conditions.
No objections.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 44, the court could find it true, grant a motion, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility in each cause number and up to a $1,500 fine in each cause number? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 44?
Yes, ma'am.
In each cause number, the court will find violation of condition number 44 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Yeah, there is, Your Honor, and that is to revoke the individual off for probation and to sentence her to 1 year in the state jail facility on both cause numbers.
That is the agreement, Judge. We asked those run concurrent.
All right, why should I do that?
Judge, she was unsuccessful. She's been in custody for some time. I know that she wanted to address the court and be open to any questions you may have.
Yes, why wasn't she
Positives.
successful in Esperanza Court? You want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Aisha Calderon.
All right, you can lower your hand. So why were you unsuccessful in Esperanza Court?
It's just honestly, Your Honor, I'm trying to get back to my family. I'm not.
Judge, may I have additional information? Let me talk.
Yeah, but why were you unsuccessful? Excuse me. Sorry, why were you unsuccessful? That's my question. So you say you want to get back to your family, so that's why you were unsuccessful?
No, ma'am, I was unsuccessful because I can't do it, Your Honor. I'm
Why
trying.
not?
Judge, may I help?
No, I mean, I want to hear from her. Why
I understand.
can't you do it?
I tried, Your Honor. I tried the whole treatment thing. I got on Suboxone. I've been off drugs, but unfortunately, me and my judge from the Esperanza Court had a disagreement on the medication I was taking.
What medication for what?
Suboxone
Mhm.
for my drug use, when I was in the Alpha home. And she don't think it fits me. She don't think it's right for me. It was helping me. I believe it was helping me because I've been off drugs. So
Well, I mean, you can't be on, that's sort of like when people are taking methadone for heroin. You're not supposed to be on methadone for the rest of your life because then you're just replacing another drug with another one. So you had a disagreement with your judge in that court, then what?
then I went back to jail, and I'm here.
So why didn't you just do what was asked of you?
I tried, she violated me. That's why I'm here.
Well, I mean, I'm sure she gave you a choice. It wasn't, we're just violating you. Were you not given a choice? Either do what you're being told or you're getting a motion to revoke. Were those your two choices?
Yeah, when I came to jail, she didn't, when I had court with her through Zoom, when I was in the Alpha home, she had told me that she violated me. I came forward with her because she didn't know that I was on the medication that I was taking in the Alpha home. And she said, okay, well, I'm gonna violate you. Those weren't my conditions. So I came to jail.
What conditions are you talking about?
For me being on medication. I wasn't allowed to be on the Suboxone or methadone or anything like that. So she violated me, and when I came to jail, that's what happened.
You've taken me from A to Z and you've skipped over low. Will fall in your story. So let me see if I can get this right. You were ordered into Alpha home, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And while you were in Alpha home, you were on medication?
Yes, ma'am.
Was this medication that was prescribed to you by a doctor, I'm assuming?
Yes, ma'am, by the Alpha home.
Okay, and did the judge know that the Alpha home prescribed this to you?
My counselor was there with me, yes, so when I was in court, my counselor was sitting with me.
Oh, Mr. Garhan, you may continue to confer.
Thank you, Judge.
And
But no. I want to hear what she has to say. Yeah, she's a witness on the witness stand.
I want to help her.
I know. People got to learn how to express themselves. So
I understand.
I'm
that, Judge,
patient.
but
I have
that's-
patience in my pocket. I take it out if needed. So don't think that you're getting on my nerves or anything like that. I'm trying to get you to express to me what's going on because I need to make a decision whether or not I'm going to give you the year that you all agreed to, or either 2 years or anywhere in between. You understand?
yes, ma'am.
So you're at the Alpha home. Esperanza Court wanted you in Alpha home. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So then is Alpha home the person who put you on the medication?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So was the court aware that Alpha home put you on the medication?
No, not until 2 weeks after I was on the medication. But I didn't think it was a problem. I thought being in the Alpha home, I didn't really think, that it would be a problem being that it was prescribed to me.
Well, whenever you're in a treatment court, all medications are an issue, and you have to tell them about all medications you're on.
Yes, ma'am, I see that now.
So I still find it hard to believe that you're saying that the judge sent you back to me for that one violation. What else was going on at Esperanza Court? Because it had to be more than that. And I don't think, and if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. I don't think you're in treatment at alcohol and all of a sudden you're on medication and the judge is just like, I'm done, you're on medication, you're being kicked out of the court. I find that hard to believe. So what else was going on that got you sent back to my court?
Well, I left, Your Honor. I left the Alpha home.
All right, now we're getting to the situation. So you left the Alpha home,
Yes, ma'am.
and did anybody give you permission to leave the Alpha home?
No, ma'am.
Why did you leave the Alpha home?
Because my judge said that she was putting a warrant out for my arrest. She wanted me to turn myself in. But I didn't. I left.
All right, and where did you go?
To my friends that I was staying with, Marcy.
Right. Any other questions?
Yes, Judge. And then, so you voluntarily left off.
Yes,
That's the reason why you're here.
yes,
And you take full responsibility for that, right?
yes, I did.
You knew that was gonna get you violated
Yes,
and it was gonna get you in trouble. You're gonna get sent back to jail. You knew that, right?
yes,
But you did it anyway. I'm sorry, but you did that anyway?
yes,
And you want to tell the judge that you take full, we talked about this earlier, and you said you want to take full responsibility for your actions, right?
yes, ma'am. I do want to take full responsibility, Judge. I realize now that last time I had you in court, you had told me that my people, places, and things would basically get me nowhere, and they haven't. I realize that now.
So what you had told me earlier was that when the judge talked to you before, it was about who you were hanging out with, right?
Yes,
And the people you associate yourself with used to be the problem. It
yes,
still is the problem, right?
yes,
That was something that you told me that you remember the judge telling you.
yes,
And then now you have a plan going forward
yes, I do.
where whenever you're released, whenever that is, be it whenever that is, your plan is to move back and leave San Antonio.
Yes,
Where are you gonna go?
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania,
With
with my brother and my sister.
And the reason is because you don't have the same temptations for drugs that you do in Pittsburgh because
I'm with my family.
you don't, it's not as easy to get those when you know everybody in San Antonio.
No, it's not.
And does your brother and sister-in-law have children?
No.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. In each cause number, the court is granting the motion. The court will sentence you to 18 months in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served, $1,500 fine, time and money run concurrent. Cause numbers will run concurrently, and there's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. And each cause number, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is not a plea bargain agreement, you do have a limited right to appeal. And that right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you were on community supervision. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And also because these are felony convictions, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you would like, I could have you referred to the therapeutic community. I'm not in charge of whether or not they grant you placement in the therapeutic community. That will be completely up to them. The therapeutic community does not increase the time that you're in custody. Would you like that or no?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so in each cause number, the court will recommend the therapeutic community. All right, we can go off the record. You're still gonna have to change your life, you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And changing people, places, and things, that is true, but make sure you're changing of people, places, and things is not you running away from your problems, you understand? Because whenever you stop running, the problem that you were running away from is still right there. All right, good luck to you, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just a second. Judge, off the record, I want to say thank you so much. She was off the docket and she was in 2, and so we brought her up and had the whole thing done. I just
I'm
want to,
telling you, they are great.
say thank you.
Yeah, and say thank you to Rashawn. She got it together too.
She knows.
All right, Roland Diaz. And then after Roland Diaz, it's gonna be Juan De Hoyos Garcia, then Ginger Ferguson and Shane Riley. All right, so what are we doing with these cases?
Just to confirm with defense counsel, Your Honor, it seems like he's rejecting the offer, and it looks like he does also want a contested MTR, is that good? Mr. Sandoval?
Your Honor, Frankie Sandoval on behalf of Mr. Diaz, that's the information Mr. Diaz has provided me. We have a universal offer to dispose of the MTR and the 4 newly indicted aggravated robbery cases. Mr. Diaz has rejected that offer and is requesting that contested MTR hearing on the MTR.
Okay, all right, well, we're gonna put you to jury trial quick, fast, and hurry. If you all make sure you sign the discovery acknowledgement. Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial on Mr. Diaz. State, do you know which one you're going on?
Sorry, Judge, I wasn't confirmed with him, but I imagine we'll probably go on the oldest and the highest degree.
All right, so your range of punishment for the aggravated robbery case, unless there's some enhancements, is 5 to 99 years or life. Do you understand? All right, Ms. Ferguson, you need a jury trial date. And we can set the jury trial with the motion.
Yes, Judge. Thank you, Judge.
All right, we're putting you down for jury trial December 5th. You understand?
Your Honor,
Yes.
respectfully, as of this moment right now, I do not know which the oldest case is. So I wouldn't be able to make an informed signature as to the discovery.
Oh, they're gonna let you know which is the oldest case.
Well, thank you, Judge. And I can look that up as well. But with respect to the nature of the offense, I cannot see myself being ready December 5th.
All right. Jury trial December 5th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you're welcome. Yes, it's gonna be contested, but they're gonna go on the new cases first. You're welcome.
May I be excused for this morning, Judge?
Yes, after you all look at the discovery acknowledgement, and I understand there are some issues, but I just want it printed out for you so you can check.
I just took a look at it. Looks like, I think they're all associated with each other. Because they're all 9063 Bs, so they're probably all the same age. So.
All right.
Well, I'll check in.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. If I could see just a moment, once I do these last cases, I will discuss this with you and Mr. Garahan.
I would have responded, I was at the Spurs game.
Okay. De Hoyos. Of your pens.
Speak up loud, just so it takes me to say, okay. Okay.
All right, court is calling 2021 CR 2277, State of Texas versus Juan Javier De Hoyos Garcia. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense.
Michael J. Sawyer, Your Honor.
And are you Juan Javier De Hoyos Garcia?
Yes, Your Honor.
Going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision and First Amendment Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review those with your attorney? Did you understand them?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Juan Javier De Hoyos Garcia who's placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 2277 for the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on July 7, 2021 for a term of 8 years. Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor. Violate condition number 1 on or about the 17th day of August 2023 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant Juan Javier de Hoyos Garcia committed the offense of possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Sure, Your Honor.
Your Honor, we'll waive the remaining violated conditions.
Any objections?
None, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Your Honor, and that is adjudicate guilt and revoke the individual's community probation, sentence him to 8 years in sex partner corrections. The state will be taking into consideration the new number 1s associated with August 17, 2023, and we'll supply that to the court here shortly.
All right, is that the agreement, defense?
It is, Your Honor.
Mr. De Hoyos, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the court will follow your agreement. The court will find violation of number 1 true as previously stated. The court will grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you to 8 years in the prison. There's an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon. There's to be no contact with Casey, Kasey Day. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. Court will give you credit for any time served. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
Oh, yeah, covered it all. Thank you.
All right, and state, do you have those cost numbers? Okay,
Still under nightmare, I believe, Your Honor.
all right. And the court will take into consideration the cause numbers related to the offenses that were committed on August 17, 2023. And my understanding, those are 3 cases. Is that correct, state?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
All right. And if you'll come around, Ms. Victoria.
I'll do that. Slide through somewhere. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, Mr. De Hoyos, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And because this is a felony conviction, because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. De Hoyos, you're gonna have to start making better decisions in your life. Otherwise, you're gonna end up in and out of prisons, in and out of Bexar County jails or somebody else's jail. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, don't go to prison and come back institutionalized. Go to prison and learn something and use what you learn. Educate yourself. Education is free at the prison. You understand? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
You also have me excused.
Yes.
Thank you,
And
Judge.
tell
Have a
your
good
wife
night.
I said hello.
Thank you very much.
Please have a seat, sir.
Ginger Ferguson. Who's the attorney for Ferguson? Okay, fine. Court is calling 2021 CR 6163, State of Texas versus Ginger Ferguson. We're gonna have parties announced for the record for the state.
Jason Garrett, Your Honor.
Defense.
Gary Jarrett for the defense.
And are you Ginger Ferguson?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Ferguson, I'm gonna show you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you weigh the reading of the
We
indictment?
do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Ms. Ferguson, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and give you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Did you understand that the court would grant your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
She has, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
She does, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
She was, Your Honor.
Ms. Ferguson, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
The court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial, showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at a $1,500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. There's to be restitution if any to almost OLMOS police department for drug testing. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Defense?
It is, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
There are none, Your Honor.
Outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There be 200 hours of community service restitution and the TAP evaluation. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State exhibit number 1 with all its attachments.
No objection.
State, you may be excused.
Thank you.
Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent and stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibit 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you asking that we proceed with
We
sentencing?
proceed. We'll waive PSI, Judge.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Just that my client now is gotten to be stable. I believe you're living with your daughter now,
Yes, sir.
and she has called me 7 times since her mother was arrested. So there is definitely family concern.
All right, how old are you?
I'm 51.
How many children do you have?
4 daughters.
And what are their ages?
33, 32, 31, and 30.
All right, and the daughter that you're planning on staying with, how many children does she have?
She has 2 children.
And what are their ages?
I'm sorry, she has 3 children, I'm sorry. 7, the other one is 4 and, no, I'm sorry, 11, 7, and then 5.
All right, when's the last time you had employment?
I'm working now.
Doing what?
I'm a waitress.
All right, so how often are you using drugs?
I'm not using them. I'm ill now. This was back in 2018, I believe, or 2019.
So when's the last time you used? You're saying the last time you used drugs? Was it, because this offense date is from 2020?
Oh, okay, it was back in 2020 when I become ill ever since.
All right, what drugs were you using?
Marijuana and cocaine.
Anything else?
No, ma'am.
What's your medical condition?
I have a mass that they found in my head, and then I've got cancer in one of my lungs. I was in the hospital the Thursday before they arrested me when they pulled me over.
When you say when they pull you over, you mean they arrested you?
Yes, I
For
was.
a warrant on this case?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right, this is what the court is gonna do. Court is gonna sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication, $1,500 fine, probated, proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. So what that means is your daughter cannot use you as a babysitter. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And if she says, oh, I just need to run to the grocery store real quick, you can't be there by yourself. You understand?
Understood.
There's to be 200 hours of community service restitution. You can either do the 200 hours or you can donate to the San Antonio Food Bank or some other organization that you choose at $7.25 per hour.
Yes, ma'am.
Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs. Proof of employment. I'm sorry, I've already done the proof of employment. Gonna do field visits. 1 time per month. For 3 months. And then it can be random thereafter. But no less than 1 field visit at least every 4 months. Do a TAP evaluation that can be out of custody. And if TAP recommends inpatient treatment, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment. And 90 sober meetings in 90 days. All right, probation, is there anything else she needs?
Is it also including restitution to be determined?
Thank you. Restitution, if any, to Almost PD for drug testing. All right, is there anything else, probation?
No, Judge, thank you.
All right, is there anything you need from the court to be successful?
No, thank you.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. So you're gonna have to make sure you take care of yourself, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Be excused?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, and everyone, we're gonna take no less than a 5-minute break so that probation can catch up. And Mr. Gerhan and Mr. Mara, if I could see you all in back, please.
I hope I don't get a He's not present, Your Honor. I'm here to try to get him reset. He's on the docket on Thursday. I'm gonna be at an all-day CLE that day, but also he just had his competency evaluation done last Thursday, so the doctor's report is not ready, but he has been evaluated.
All right, and is your client in custody?
No, he's on bond.
Do you have contact with him?
I do.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, what day can we bring Mr. Rowley back?
You want to bring him in December?
Yes.
I can do December. We'll do December 18th.
All right, so we'll have him brought back on December 18th.
Perfect. Hopefully
Thank
the
you.
evaluation's done. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Johnny Alvarez. All right. So we're here for discovery. Where are we on that?
I believe they've given me everything, Your Honor. This is our second setting. I'm scheduling a Zoom visit with my client next week to go over some things. They just gave us an offer today, so we want to have some time to talk about that.
And Mr. Alvarez, how old are you?
18.
I'm sorry, 18?
18.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on this case for a plea deadline date?
Yes, ma'am. I can do December 11th.
All right, so we'll come back on December 11th. At that time, you need to let me know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, do you have any questions about anything?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
See you next week.
Have a seat back there.
Bed trial, and he's sitting on the fourth floor. I can see 37. Can I go downstairs to put more money on my car? Yes. Yeah. I'll be right back.
Come back in.
Got it.
Richard Whitney? Court is calling 2023 CR 1290 State of Texas versus Richard Brian Whitney. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Douglas Hatmar for Mr. Whitney.
And are you Mr. Whitney?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review that with your client?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Whitney, I'm going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, ma'am.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor, except we're waiving the habitual offender enhancement allegation, Judge.
Any objection?
No objection.
Going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I believe so.
Do you know or do you believe so?
I know.
All right. Did you understand that you're charged with the offense of unauthorized use of a vehicle? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, I do.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
We discussed this case thoroughly, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do believe so.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Whitney, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes. I do.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the state jail facility, taking consideration 2023 CR 1289. There's to be restitution, if any, to Jose Tay, Tey, Lias, Lias. And you are forfeiting the weapon in cause number 2023 CR 1289. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, ma'am.
Then to the office as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty, Your Honor.
State, any evidence?
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 and the attachments.
No objection.
All right, off the record for a moment. He needs to sign the trial court certification.
Sorry, Judge.
That's okay. We're back on the record. Did you review the document entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations with your attorney, Mr. Whitney?
Yes.
And did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, I do.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. At reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to tender to the court the verification of incarceration from Medina County, if I may. It came directly from there, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. And just make sure that this is turned in with the clerk. According to this, there's a booking date of May 24th, 2023, with a release date of October 17th, 2023, which gives him 147 days in custody in Medina County. And the court will give him credit for the time that he served in Medina County, as well as for the time that he served in Bexar County. Court is finding you guilty, sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility. Taking consideration 2023 CR 1289, you to forfeit the weapon in 2023 CR 1289. There's to be restitution, if any, to Jose Tay Lias. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
No.
All right, I'm gonna show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I've followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question about what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. Do you have children?
Yes, I do.
What are their ages?
12, 11, and 10.
Are you in their life?
Yes, I am.
All right. Do you want them to grow up stealing vehicles and doing drugs?
No, ma'am.
Then you need to be a better example for them, because right now, that's what you're showing them. You understand?
Yes.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And state, what is happening with the, I read in the police report, there was some marijuana possession. What's happening with that case? Does that case exist or no?
No, ma'am, we didn't file that on.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, Brian Maldonado. And then after that, it will be Orlando Ending. Yes. Oh, just to have a seat, sir. You're ending, right? Oh, just have a seat. We're going to take you up next. All right, so yes.
Your Honor, we're set on the docket for, I guess, final plea on Thursday,
Mhm.
the 9th.
Yes.
I had another matter here today, so I just decided to come in and talk to Hank.
Okay.
We have spoken about it. I don't, because of the immigration consequences, Your Honor, I am forced to set it on a jury docket.
All right,
I will-
so there's a process in this court. So state, did you tender an offer?
We did, Your Honor.
And then your client will need to present himself to see whether or not he's accepting the plea. So you can't come in on the 9th. Is that correct?
Well,
I mean, we'll set it on another day, but it'll be a day in November.
yeah, that's okay.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, can you recall this the following week?
It's on the 9th.
Yes.
I think it's 16.
All right, we'll come back on the 16th. You'll need to let your client know.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. And Norma, here's the file. All right, and Mr. Ending, if you could come down, please.
Andino?
Andino. I just did Andine. I just add that G in there. But that's what's written down. All right, your attorney had a personal medical issue with a family member. So we're gonna bring you back either Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Which date, Ms. Ferguson?
Tuesday.
All right, so we'll recall you and have you brought over tomorrow, all right?
Tomorrow?
Yes.
Thank you, John.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your patience. All right, Norma, the attorneys relieved. Carolyn Whitland,
She just stepped out. She said she'd be back.
Roy Barrera,
Supposedly, he's in federal custody, Judge. I don't know. I mean.
now who's in federal court?
He's in federal court.
Okay,
And he should be able to.
all right, Elizabeth Russell,
She said she'll be here. She was here this morning.
Lorraine Efron,
He kept on her plan and couldn't take a seat off.
all right, Judith Wimmer,
Judith Rivers, we need to mind it. She'll be right over.
Alfonso Cabanas,
Alfonso Cabanas is doing, might be in trial either in Hayes or some out of county. But he said he will keep in contact with.
okay. All right, it's 11:21. We're abiding by our rules. So we're waiting for attorneys and then our docket will be done for today, which is sort of shocking. Usually we're here late, so we shall see. Yes.
Just a quick, so we requested an inmate, Elizabeth Massiel. She should be here shortly, and we have the plea paper ready to rock and roll. Just wanted to know.
All right, sure. Thank you. So yes, so we'll start with the jury selection tomorrow, probably at 11 or 11:30. Yes. So I don't like to hold a jury over, select one this week, then have them brought back, because honestly, people have their lives, right? And even though it's a duty, I try to make it not so inconvenient for people to serve. So in this court, we will select jury on Tuesday, and then all day Wednesday, we'll have jury trial because we don't have a docket on Wednesday. And I try not to have a docket on Wednesdays so that the jurors can get a full day testimony. And then on Thursday, the jurors will come in the afternoon because we have docket in the morning. I can't stop the entire docket for jury trial because then everybody is getting resets and it just throws everything off. So. But I tell you what, if you want to speak to that attorney about immigration issues, because you really can't do plea agreements when someone has an immigration issue. And by immigration, I mean they're not a citizen. I've received several cases where I've had to grant a motion for new trial. And it was before my time, before certain rules changed, where people were not citizens and their attorney didn't have an immigration attorney for them, or nobody talked to them about their immigration consequences. That's a big no, because then they are not entering into a plea bargain agreement knowingly and voluntarily because they don't know. I entered this plea, I can't become a citizen, or I entered this plea, I'm going to get deported. So I always want them to have an immigration attorney so that they will have the information they need to make an informed decision. And even though there are some cases, you already know somebody's going to get deported, murder, a violent offense, any family violence offenses, usually those are 100% deportable. But even if that's the case, you still want them to have contact with an immigration attorney. Because, for example, let's say somebody were to go to trial on a murder case. You and I know if they go to trial on a murder, if they're found guilty, they're getting deported. But if you don't have an immigration sit down and explain to them, hey, if you go to trial and you get convicted on this for murder, you're going to get deported, that still can come back on appeal. You have to start the trial all over again. It's the same thing if someone were to enter into a plea bargain agreement, and let's say they end up getting deferred on a case. And then the next thing you know, they're getting deported. Well, they'll get a motion for new trial if they didn't have any contact with an immigration attorney, or if someone didn't tell them the consequences of entering a plea. So it's a lot, but yeah, if you'll talk to Albert, he'll talk to you about it. Be bold, introduce yourself. No, that's Roland Arguelles, but the person who's next to him. Yeah, just go introduce yourself. That'll give you a chance because you're supposed to be networking. Yeah. Yeah, and networking is hard because you're basically introducing yourself to complete strangers. It's hard to do, but you have to get used to doing it. Oh, he's actually set on November 9th, but he has other cases to attend to on that date. And so instead of keeping the court waiting, and he does do immigration. So he needs to get his client a letter, which it sounds like he's already told his client he's going to be deported. That's why it's going to end up probably going to jury trial. But he asked for a reset so that he can get that information to his client. And also so that I can see if he's accepting the plea or not. Because even though you tell somebody what the immigration consequences is, which may be you're gonna get deported if you accept this plea, I still need to know if they're accepting the plea or not.
Although I thought we were gonna have an agreement and they were supposed to supplement, they are not.
Oh, he's asking that his client and he be excused from appearing on Thursday. Because he was supposed to let me know whether or not he is accepting the plea bargain agreement or not. So instead, they're gonna come back the following week and let me know.
Yeah. That's, I don't know.
Gabriel Gobert,
Would it be okay, Judge? I'm gonna have his mom come in just even for this part of it. Is it okay if I have, she's sitting in the hall?
all right, but she'll need to sit on the
Yeah.
third row.
Okay.
Hello. All right, court is calling 2020 CR 2127 State of Texas versus Gabriel Maurice Gobert. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Carolyn Wendler for the defendant, Your Honor.
And are you Gabriel Maurice Gobert?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
This is the one that we've had before. This one is here. This is the one that they've given, that we've seen the copies of. Handle with the.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah.
All right, did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Gabriel Maurice Gobert who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 2127 for the offense of robbery on December 15th, 2020 for a term of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, state?
Your Honor, I believe the defense was gonna ask for a contested date.
I am, Judge, but I also am, I have to highly consider if I need to do a competency. That is also like something that I am debating.
Okay, so this is what I don't understand, and I want you all to clear this up for the court. We were here in August for a contested on August 31st. Then you all asked for it to be removed to September 14th. And then we are here, we were supposed to be here on October 19th, then October 26th, and now we're here on November 6th.
I can
explain this to me.
I can speak to it probably a little better, Judge, because I've been here for all the settings. Initially, I think we thought we were going to have an agreement. And then we have not come to that agreement. The last setting that this was set, the state actually had thought they were going to supplement the MTR. I think that was the last setting. That's why the court reset it for now. Part of the long reset had to do with I had surgery and then we came back and I think we had approached and we thought we were all going to be have a good plan, but we still don't have a good plan in place.
All right, so here's the plan.
That's where we are.
This is being set for a contested hearing. Do not get into any plea bargain agreements because this is going to be a contested hearing. That's the plan. Ms. Ferguson, give me a date for a contested hearing.
You can come back on the 16th of November. Is that enough time? Well, Judge, the only thing is, as the court, when the court asked my client, has he seen this? Does he understand? I struggle and I'm not sure that Mr. Goldberg does understand. So I'm going to talk to my mother a little bit about the possibility of having to get him comped. But
if you go and ask for competency, they will do it one fast in a hurry.
Well, that may be what I need to do, Judge, just to make sure that he understands what's going on. I think that is.
That needs to be done, and we're coming back on November 16th for a contested hearing. What time is Ferguson? All right, 9 AM. It's contested. It will be contested. It's not gonna be anything else but contested. And if you'll go down to Judge Carruthers and Ms. Ferguson, if you'll send Judge Carruthers an email and let him know to expedite this competency.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything else?
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
There will be no further resets in this case.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
Welcome. Good morning.
What time do you want us to start tomorrow morning for jury selection?
We'll probably start at 11.
11? All right, I'll be here by 9, but I just want to let my co-counsel know.
Okay, awesome.
I think he has a juvenile. No, just figuring what time to be here.
Okay.
I think George has one juvenile, so by 11 though, that's not gonna be a problem.
Okay, all right, awesome. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, it's a standard stuff.
How does somebody die without a kiss? How does somebody get shot without the gun? Yeah, so just, I mean, that's the one issue.
Didn't even notice.
I mean, that's what yeah, I'm not gonna, you get. You'll be opposed to something like that. So, I mean, it's Mitchell, so.
No.
But yeah, so that's the only thing.
I'll see. The truth is, I mean, I think it's.
Well, he's gonna be dead in some of those spots out there.
There's 5 months there.
I could guess. Well, and not by other people say hands.
No, I know.
But I mean, I guess freedom of fighters rather than incarceration for 10. But I mean, of course, we're making sure, we gotta make sure we show up and see all those things that say that.
The attachments.
What would be?
No, this is.
Oh, yeah, I wanted.
I was trying to talk to Juicy, but he never answered the phone. But if he wants to talk to me, I'll pretty good. My number.
Oh, my God.
He doesn't even want to talk.
No, that's
You know.
I just ran out of time. Video. I have all the videos, I don't know where it was. It doesn't matter though. It shows for coming, but I don't think it shows heavy, right? Now we got it. You got it all? Oh, that's not good. I think we got our. Yeah. Yeah. That's hard.
All right, Deputy Laura, it's 11:37, so we're taking our break at noon. And everyone else will need to come back. Oh, we have yours.
5 minutes.
All right. So it appears that we're probably going to be coming back on Moses Ross, Janelle Garza, Gloria Garcia, Zachary Garcia, and Christopher Esquivel.
Yeah, exactly.
We're taking our break at noon. So did you learn more?
Yeah. I got 3 months out. Yeah. Yeah, which I people pick that up this week. So we'll take that up. Yeah. That's why yeah. See why. See why. Oh, yeah, one game over in Kansas City or whatever. Or that one, I'm sorry. Yeah. There was one in Kansas City. Yeah, you could, like, okay, and it's a discovery somewhere. It's literally, I think I need one. Okay, I need to do it right there. Specific section. That's good. That's why I only because I've seen it.
Legally not.
Let me go through this thing. It's not.
Doesn't make changes.
Got whatever.
Well, the way it works is if someone cannot afford an attorney, which a lot of people cannot afford attorney, then one is appointed. And actually the person who ends up paying the attorneys is the county, which equals taxpayers.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this, defense attorneys are not paid nearly enough. Bear County has some of the lowest wages, for want of a better word, that they pay defense attorneys. Only recently, I think there was an increase, and the judges were constantly trying to increase their wages. I know I'm always trying to increase how much they're paid, because when you think about it, they all went to law school. Before they went to law school, they have another degree as well. Some have 3 degrees. I have 3 degrees. And to be paying them maybe $20 an hour or $75 an hour really is not enough for them to pay off their loans, their school loans, pay for a mortgage, and if they have children, pay for their children's education and pay for daycare. And then a lot of defense attorneys are solo practitioners, so they have to pay for their own health insurance and also pay for liability insurance as it relates to their practice. So that's a lot. So if you're doing bare bones with defense attorneys, their out of pocket is already through the roof. And when you think if they are leasing an office, they have to pay for that, a secretary, pay for that, pay for phone. It's just a lot of expenses that go with running your own practice. And so they're not paid nearly enough. That's why you'll see some attorneys are in several different courts, because they have different cases in a lot of different courts. And then once they completed work, you would think I would like it if there were a place that you could go, once you complete a work, you turn it into somebody and then they give you your check, or either they put it on your account right then and there. That's not the way it works. They have to fill out a voucher saying, this is the work I did, this is how much I want to be paid. It goes to manage assigned counsel depending on the case, depending on the type of case it is. They sign off on it. Then once they sign off on it, then it goes to the auditor's office. Then the auditor looks on it. And so they may have completed a case. Let's say some attorney completed the case today, they're not gonna get paid on it for maybe 45 days or a month later. To me, that's unacceptable. But I'm working on it. All right, Moses Ross. And this is family violence. Good morning.
Or good afternoon, probably. It's almost
Oh,
close, I think.
it is 11:44, so we're still morning. All right, have you all conferred?
We have, Judge.
All right, conferred with probation?
Did you speak with probation briefly, or where did you?
Okay, that's a no.
This is a motion to adjudicate.
Yes.
I believe. We didn't get that far as far as probation.
So, Your Honor, there's a new number 1, and I believe counsel would like a contested MTR hearing in the future.
We're definitely contesting the unit 1.
Okay.
But if we can resolve this today, happy to.
Well, have you all conferred?
With each other, Judge?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, and have y'all conferred with probation?
We have not. This is unexpected. No.
All right, so you all want to do that?
That would be
Being
fantastic.
here?
Yes. Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. Well.
So I'm gonna ask for.
Oh, you mean connect to the system, to defendants connecting with, oh, what ends up happening is they fill out a document stating that they can't afford an attorney. And basically ask them what their expenses are to see if they can afford an attorney. If they can't afford an attorney, what ends up happening is they go into the system and it's on rotation. And they will get the next attorney up who's qualified to handle the level of felony they have. For example, if you're brand new, you're not going to get felony appointments because you're brand new and you haven't tried anything. So there are a number of trials that you have to have before you are placed on the felony list. That's how you get appointments. And then on these motions to revoke, motions to revoke are really contracts that the defendant has with the court. It's not a contract with their attorney of the state. So sometimes the state will come up with an agreement, like they'll plead a true and they'll do A, B, and C, but I don't have to follow that agreement. So, yes.
We've had a meeting of the minds, Your Honor.
All right.
And yeah, we spoke with probation, they're aware, and then, yes, we'd like to have a contested MPR hearing for a future date, Your Honor.
All right, so this is gonna be contested, so do not come back later and say we have an agreement, because if you all have a plea of true or whatever, then that needs to be done now. Otherwise, it's going to be contested.
Absolutely.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. I need a contested hearing on this, and we need to do it before the new year.
We can do the 30th.
All right, your contested hearing is November 30th.
Thank you, Judge.
That will be at 9 a.m. Once you sign the reset form. Do you have a question?
No, I'm just, no, I do, but,
All right, so let me explain something to you. So you're on probation.
yes, ma'am.
Probation is a contract. It's a contract with the court. It's not a contract with your attorney. It's not a contract with the state. It's a contract with the court. So in your motion, they've filed a motion to revoke, alleging that you have either committed a new offense or there's something that you have not done in your probation. So they're saying that there is no agreement, proposed agreement, because again, I don't have to follow any agreement that you all come up with. So contested hearing means that we're going to come in on November 30th. On November 30th, I'm gonna read the motion to revoke. You're gonna answer whether that's you or not, whether or not you were placed on a probation at that time. Then the state is gonna read the allegations in the motion. Once they read the allegation in the motion, you're gonna let the court know whether that allegation that they're reading is true or not true. Say, for example, if the allegation was in the motion that you didn't report. Once they read that, you'll say, it's true, I didn't report, or either it's not true. That's it. Then the state will have to, if you plead not true, the state will have to bring in witnesses to prove those cases. So motions to revoke, when they're contested, they're sort of like mini trials, because you're not contesting the fact that you're on probation. For example, you're not saying, oh, I want to go back and fight the fact that I'm on probation for an unauthorized use. You're just fighting the allegations in the motion that they're saying you did not complete or do. You understand?
Do I still have a chance to do that, I guess, so say?
Do what?
Never mind, I'll ask him.
Do you mean like plead true or not true?
No, wants to know between now and the 30th, other than the new number one, does he have a chance to complete or correct what was alleged? Like not signing up for BIT. Can he
Right.
go sign up for BIT?
I mean, you can do whatever you want to do.
I know that I saw that on there, but me and him talked. I think I want to explain myself, and I think that's for the next time. So I don't want to say anything, but yeah. So
Okay. All right. So you'll come back on November 30th at 9 a.m. and that's when we'll have a contested hearing.
Yeah.
And if there's a new number one in the motion to revoke, they will bring those witnesses to potentially prove that up. Do you understand?
yes, ma'am.
All right. We'll see you then. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We'll see you then.
All right, so I'm going to take up this plea. And then the people who are coming back are Gloria Garcia on page 7, Zachary Garcia, Christopher Esquivel. You all are to come back at 1:30. All right, if I can see Elizabeth Massiel. Hi.
Thank you for taking us.
Oh, no problem. And how do you pronounce your last name? Massiel. Court is calling 2023 CR 5382A, State of Texas versus Elizabeth Teresa Massiel. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Orlando Wade for the defense.
And are you Elizabeth Massiel?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Massiel, I'm going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Ms. Massiel, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, is there an application in this case?
There is not, Your Honor.
There was initially, Judge, we changed it to no app today, Judge.
All right, did you understand you're charged with the offense of theft under $2,500 enhanced as a state jail felony? Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and
Yes,
up to $10,000 fine.
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
She has, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
She does, Judge.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
She was, Your Honor.
Ms. Macias, has anyone threatened you? I'm sorry, Maciel, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 1.5 years in the state jail facility, concurrent with 704,510. Take in consideration grand jury number 812048, JN number 2127815. There's to be restitution, if any, to Target located at 4522 Fredericksburg Road and Balcones Heights 78201. There's to be restitution to Patricio Esparza and cause number 720359, and taking in consideration cause number 720359. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
We filed motions, Your Honor, but we didn't go to trial, so they were not ruled upon.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 and the attachments.
No
Any
objections, Your Honor,
objections?
for purposes of the plea.
Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing state's exhibits one and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. With regards to this 1.5 years, what is that about?
I believe it's a year and a half, so 18 months. Probably using the wrong terminology, sorry about that, Judge.
Okay, and how much time does she have in?
11 days.
Okay. So why are you stealing?
I stole because I was in foster care when I was little. I never really had nothing, so when my kids asked me for something.
No, because let me
trying to
just
think.
tell you, how old are you?
27.
27? At some, did you say 27?
Yes, ma'am.
At some point, the choices you make are choices of your own making. You can't continue to blame the fact that you were in foster care on you continuing to steal. So again, we're back to the point, why are you stealing? And this is not, oh, my children asked me for something, so I've given this to them, because again, this is the case where you took a child into Target to steal for you, and you were bringing a child into your criminal organization. So why are you having a child help you steal?
I didn't have the child help me steal.
No, you did, because the 5-year-old was pushing the cart with items in it. You were not pushing the cart. You had a 5-year-old, according to this police report, you were walking in front of the shopping cart. That 5-year-old was pushing a cart that you and your friends had loaded items with past the points of sale. That's what it says here. A child was pushing the cart. You were not pushing a cart. You knew you didn't pay for the items. Why are you having a 5-year-old steal items for you and push the cart?
My mom told me to.
You just said you were in foster care. So who's your mother?
Oh, somebody else.
All right, so why are you hanging around with a mother who is telling you to steal and get in a 5-year-old to steal? I'm sorry?
I don't.
How can you not know?
For the record, Judge, the mother was a co-defendant in this case, and she has already pled to this as well. Is that correct, sir?
Yeah, yes, Judge. She received 1 year, Judge.
Okay. Yes, I know
Right.
I remember this case. So again, why are you involving children in theft?
I wouldn't involve my children now. It says that on the report, but it's not.
It's not your child?
That's not my child.
All right, so what you did then was you took an innocent child, somebody else's child, and
I
you're
went with-
involving them in theft.
I went with my mom to Target, just her child. And we
So
proceeded
with your mother's child, and y'all proceeded to commit a theft and involve the child in your criminal enterprise. So when are you going to stop stealing? Are you just planning on spending the rest of your life in and out of facilities
No.
because you had a bad childhood?
No, ma'am.
At some point, every tub got to sit on its own bottom. At some point, when you're an adult, it's no longer your parents' fault. Even if you had a horrible parent, it's no longer their fault. At some point, your decisions are decisions of your own making. And this 5-year-old, y'all involved in your criminal enterprise, guess what? When he becomes an adult, and if he were to start stealing, at some point, he can't blame it on the mother who was a horrible mom and the sister who's a horrible sister who's getting him to commit crimes. And if you were in foster care, as you say you were, then that means that your mother was not a good parent, because otherwise you would not have been in foster care, and you probably shouldn't be hanging around with her. And if you're going to hang around with her, you should probably be being a positive influence on your siblings' lives instead of teaching them how to steal from Target. People don't like when people steal. And anything could have went south with you all stealing. Sometimes people get shot when they steal. And so because of you and your mother, a 5-year-old and the other children had to sit in a car and wait for somebody to come pick them up. And I'm sure they were sitting in the police car behind the cage window. And then everybody will be acting oh, I can't believe the police officers put a 5-year-old in the car. When really what they should be saying, I can't believe an adult would involve a 5-year-old in criminal enterprise. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to find you guilty, sentence you to 18 months in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. This will run concurrent with 704510. Take in consideration 812048, JN number 2127815, 720359. There is to be no contact with any target in the United States of America, overseas, or anywhere. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There's to be restitution and no contact with Patricia Esparza and cause number 720359. There's to be restitution to the target at 4522 Fredericksburg Road, Balcones Heights, 78201. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing? Going to show you what the title trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're gonna go off the record. Here's the thing. Child Protective Services is in your life. You're old enough to know why they took you from your mom. And the fact that your mom is taking you on this criminal enterprise says she's not a good parent. She's not a good parent to you, so you probably shouldn't be hanging around with her. She's not a good parent to your siblings. So if you're going to be hanging around with your mom, it should only be for you to keep an eye on your siblings so they won't grow up to think stealing is a good job and it's an occupation. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.